Hey, everybody.
Hey. Book of Boba Fett time.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, I like your hat.
Well, thank you.
Maybe I should have worn a hat. Where's our Cad Bane hat? What are you wearing today, Skywalkers? Are you wearing anything in honor of the finale of Book of Boba Fett? We want to know. Is that for me?
Or you can go and get a fun toy.
Whoa.
Or what? Someone put the Mandalorian's head in there. Hey, everybody. Hello. Hey, Jeremy Stevenson. Hey. Good to see everybody here. So glad you've made it. All right, now. All right, good. I'm gonna stay here for the rest of the show. We all good? We all here? Yeah?
We are. We just don't want you to go on a rampage. So what do you need so you don't do that?
What do I need?
Yeah. Don't get hangry.
Oh.
Well, we fed you lunch, okay? You're good, right?
Oh, I could go for another Mandalorian. Or a pike. Oh, pikes are so good. Yeah, feed me. I want another pike to eat. Or a Gamorrean. One of the two. Those droids trying to blast me.
I didn't know his mouth did that. That's cute.
Yeah. This is my 1983 Rancor toy.
So is this Moochie? Really?
Yeah.
This is from 1983?
This is from 1983.
Oh, it's not one of those that we got at the Star Trader?
Nope. No. Oh, that one's outside. Go get that one.
It's outside. Uh-oh.
Oh, now you started something.
Meredith has joined us. Hello. We are going to get some fun things. Oh my goodness. Wow. Who knew that we would be joined by some Rancor? Wow, this is cool. Look at this range of motion. It's got some there. It's got some. Wow.
Yeah. And you can puppeteer him.
Yeah.
This is the Star Trader Rancor.
Yeah, but you can't puppeteer him.
No.
I'm better.
I'm sorry, okay?
I'm better.
Yeah, I know. You went over this.
Rah, rah, rah.
Move it.
Wow, he's got his hand. Okay, all right. Really are playing with our toys.
Yes, we are. All right. Let's get the show on the road here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, good.
All right.
Oh, bring him over.
Oh, bring him over where? I can't hold him the whole time.
Sure you can.
No. I gotta concentrate on what we're gonna say.
Okay, everyone else, go get your Rancor toys.
Uh-oh, out of box? It's out of box.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, because I really wanted to play with the Rancor when I was a kid.
Oh, good, Meredith. Hope you play with friends. Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to be a puppet. Imagine that. You had your hand inside of there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You really could make this a puppet.
Yeah. Nice. All right, don't get any ideas. Let's start the show. All right? I can see your wheels turning.
You need a Rancor carrier.
All right, we're going to put him down here. Okay. Here we go, guys.
Dusty. What do we have any more Rancors?
Yeah, you'd think we'd have a plush somewhere, but yeah. Okay. Do we? What? I don't think they made a plush.
Why do I think we have a Rancor?
I don't think so. No, we got a lot of banthas. Yeah. Do you guys know of any Rancor plush out there? We want to know. All right, but in the meantime,
I think we have a Rancor plush.
I think you're wrong. Stay here. In the meantime, I'm gonna click record.
Okay.
And you think about that while we're recording. How's that sound?
Okay.
Get here. Sweetie.
Curiosity has really gotten me.
Okay.
That last batch of stuff that we had gotten, of the little plush.
Oh! There wasn't a Rancor there. No. There was a Blurg, but not a Rancor. Okay. Those are the Target little guys, the Target guys.
Yeah, that's what Meredith
Yeah,
said.
Meredith, did we give them from... I don't think so, no.
Did they ever have a plush Rancor? That's all I can think about now.
Okay. Do you want to go check? Go check. Go do it now.
This is gonna attract
all right. Who else? What is your favorite plush that you've gotten, like Star Wars plush? Let us know. And I realize, sorry for the confusion about scheduling this show, because Book of Boba Fett comes out on Wednesday, and usually we record on Tuesday, but we had to wait till Wednesday to record, and then today we've got a whole bunch of other stuff lined up at 5 or near then, so we couldn't record at 5 today. Okay.
It's confirmed
Was
we
there
don't
there?
have one. No.
Oh, that's sad. Okay. All right.
Oh, we're recording.
We are recording.
Why didn't you tell me these things?
I did tell you. This is what you can look forward to on episode 356 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers! Alright, so let's go over this. The Mandalorian? Check. The Mandalorian? Check. The Bad Batch? Check. And now the Book of Boba Fett? Check. And that is the latest Disney Star Wars series that just wrapped with Western shootouts and rampaging rancors and Grogu's decision that will shake the galaxy. Lots to talk about, but for right now, let's welcome everyone back to Skywalking Through Neverland.
Disney Plus.
What did I say?
Just Disney Star Wars series.
Hey, Skywalkers! Alright, so let's go over this. The Mandalorian? Check. The Bad Batch? Check. And now the Book of Boba Fett? Check. And that is the latest Disney Plus Star Wars series that just wrapped today with Western shootouts, rampaging rancors, and Grogu's decision that will rock the galaxy. Lots to talk about, but for right now, let's welcome everyone back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife, the rampaging Sarah.
Is that a callback to my days of the video game?
Connect?
Yes, Star
Connect
Wars
Star
Connect.
Wars? Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Sarah would rampage all over the living room.
It was so much fun to be the Rancor and just mow down some Mos Espas.
Yeah, were you in? I don't think you were in Mos Espa.
We were in Tatooine, yeah. So you were in the cities, you could eat people, you were on the plains, you were in various places. I forget all where, but it was awesome.
We didn't have iPhones back then, so I wouldn't have secretly recorded you rampaging around the living room.
No, we wouldn't have.
No, okay.
I'm sorry.
You know, I could have called you a rampaging fox.
That would have worked too.
Yeah. Darn it, that would have been better.
No.
I keep blowing this.
No, but foxes don't rampage though, so.
Yeah, but to call back to Robin Hood.
I know. But we're not talking about Robin Hood today.
Okay.
We're
All
talking
right.
about Rancors and Boba Fett and the Mandalorian.
And some Max Rebo.
Yes. All right. Well, Skywalkers, if you are joining us, you have reached the enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. So it's time to give everyone their weekly big Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust to get you through the week. And this is for our family of Skywalkers. And if you're joining us now live on YouTube or Facebook, thank you. We are going to be referring to your comments all throughout the show. We love it when you guys join us live. It's amazing. If you happen to be listening to us later on the podcast, whatever you're doing, you are now a Skywalker. So join us and the rest of the Skywalking family on a fun and positive adventure through fandom.
All right, now we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park or Star Cruiser around the world. And best of all, the service is free.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie, how much is the service?
Oh, it's free.
Thank you, Minnie. You got in here a little bit earlier today, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was excited about the Book of Boba Fett.
Just want to make sure that you were here in time for the next couple of questions. But before we go on with that, Minnie, I got to tell you and everyone else to head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. Or Minnie, what can they whisper?
Skynet.
Sarah, I didn't ask you. I asked Minnie.
I don't think I can whisper that high.
I'm not asking you to do it. I'm asking Minnie to do it.
Skynet.
See, Minnie, you could do it. Do or do not, all right? Now, we are recording this from Loopy, Long Beach, California on February the 9th, 2022.
We're having an unusual hot streak, which means that's why we're loopy. Is that it?
I wasn't referring to the weather. I was referring to your state of mind.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened on this day in Star Wars history?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because we have to wish Mary Jo Duffy a big, happy 68th birthday, because she was born on February the 9th, 1954.
And Mary Jo Duffy worked on many of the Star Wars Marvel comics. She wrote her first Star Wars issue, which centered around a young Obi-Wan Kenobi in Silent Drifting.
Speaking of young Obi-Wan Kenobi, we'll gotta not announce this because everyone already knows the date, but we'll get into that in a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary Jo Duffy, she was one of the first women writer-editors at Marvel. She was writing things like The Incredible Hulk, Conan the Barbarian, Wolverine, but I know her best from her Star Wars comics. I remember seeing that name as a kid, Mary Jo Duffy. That's not a name that you'll ever forget.
Yeah, and also on a recent episode of, oh gosh, it's another podcast. They interviewed her, Mary Jo Duffy, very recently.
Marvel Women or something like that?
Yeah, Women of Marvel.
Women of Marvel, yeah.
It was a really cool interview. So
Yeah.
I think it was just the end of last year that they interviewed her.
Yeah, she went from writing comics to Marvel, and now she works for the immigration department.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, that's a natural progression. All right, also on this date, February the 9th, this is when Disney XD aired the episode Call to Action from Star Wars Rebels Season 1 in 2015.
Ooh.
And this one guest stars Stephen Stanton as Grand Moff Tarkin.
Nice.
Never tired of this. Now this episode ends with Ezra's call to action, and this is where he was reaching out to the people, uniting them against the Empire, just as his parents did. And I think this is the episode that really cements Ezra to being an important character in the Star Wars universe.
Nice.
Because he was really the one, because his parents had made this call to action and they got killed for it. So he's gonna like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do it, and this time it's gonna succeed. It's gonna get to everyone. We're all gonna unite against this tyrannical empire that's just tearing down the world. So I think he had one of the biggest character arcs in Rebels.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
Just like Luke, he started off as this pesky little kid and becoming a great leader until to the very end, where he's the one who calls the Purgles, who crashes the Empire and takes Thrawn through hyperspace and gets Thrawn out of there. And I just can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that with the Ahsoka series, because we know that Sabine was cast, so you gotta cast Ezra. I know there's been rumors, but who knows?
I hope so.
Who knows? So yeah, I think Ezra is one of the most well-rounded characters in the Star Wars universe, and I think mainly due to this one episode called to Action.
Cool.
All right, Minnie, how many more days until the premiere of the next Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Well, thank you, Star Wars, because you just announced the date. So there are 105 days. I don't know. Wait.
All right, Minnie, how many more days until the premiere of the next Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was just released an hour ago? That's going to premiere on May the 25th. The actual, the iconic Star Wars Day.
Well, then there's 105 days.
Well, thank you, Minnie. Thank you. Which would mean there's 106 more days until Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh.
I know. Now, that leads me into my next question, and Minnie, you or Sarah can answer this. Is this a good or bad move on Disney's part to release it just one day ahead of Celebration?
I mean, now that you just said that, I think it's kind of a bad move because all of us are going to be gearing up for Celebration. And yeah, I guess it could be water cooler talk, but none of us are going to have time to watch it the day before, or if we do, we're not going to have time to like disseminate and talk and chat about it because it'll be Celebration. So that's weird.
Yeah, that's. I don't think they really thought that one through.
You'd
Now,
think they would have.
If
But
they released it on May the 4th, the other Star Wars day, it would have given people enough time to talk about it, to watch it many times, to have a couple of episodes come out before Celebration.
right.
But on May 25th, they'll have a lot of screenings
Yes.
at Celebration for Obi-Wan, and there'll be a lot of buzz about that, and that'll just surge through the convention.
Yeah, and Meredith is saying that in the Sky Chat here. It's going to be the biggest water cooler ever. So I suppose it could be a good thing. I just feel like they maybe should have released it a couple days before, because the day before people are going to be traveling and all that kind of thing.
Or just, I like the fact that it's being released on the official Star Wars day, but what about release it the next day on May the 26th and have it be first screened at Celebration?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Can you imagine that? Even before Disney Plus?
Just have
before Disney Plus releases it?
have all the rooms be screening it.
Oh
So
my-
like you don't have to get in one room, you can get in all of them.
You know that energy and excitement we felt for that Force Awakens trailer? It would rival that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, and they just came out with a heart pounding first episode that just called to all the fans. Yeah.
Built-in audience right there.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
So this could go either way, but well, that's not going to play out because they're not going to release it then because it's going to be released May 25th.
Meredith says maybe you'll get episode 2.
Oh.
And Jeremy is saying, I have no objections, but I'm not going to be at Celebration this year. Well, yeah, so I guess that'll give something for the fans who can't make it to Celebration
Right.
to do and be in Star Wars. So
Right,
that makes sense.
But if you're not going to be at Celebration, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you in the Sky Chat here, will you be watching the live feeds of Celebration? So if you're going to be doing that, you have enough time, really. Most people have, like, what, school or what do you call those things? Jobs?
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can they watch all this content?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll know in a couple of months, in 106 more days.
Yeah.
Now, also, here's another wrench. What about the Bad Batch? Season 2. They announced that it was going to be released in the springtime.
Oh, my.
So they can't release it after Obi-Wan because that's going into summertime. So are they going to wedge it in between now and May 25th?
I feel like they would have announced it if they were going to do that. So I feel like they haven't announced that they have moved it back. I don't think there's room for that. Because, I really don't think there's room for a Bad Batch in between.
And don't forget, Moon Knight is coming out
March 30th.
But I think you can run 2 big series.
Well, yeah, they already did that, I believe, right?
Well,
Hawkeye.
it was like a half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, Hawkeye was ending as Boba Fett was beginning.
Right.
So you know what? They don't need like a 3-month rollout announcements. They do it like next week. Surprise everybody. Just like the original Bad Batch came out on May 21st, 2020.
The series, or
yeah, the original.
Last year?
Oh, you know, I'm getting the Bad Batch and Clone Wars season 7.
Yeah.
Mixed up.
Okay,
yeah. But still, you can release it now. So the Clone Wars season 7 that came out in February of 2020.
Okay.
So my point is, have the Bad Batch be released also in February.
Okay.
No one's gonna complain if they just go, here you go, everybody, more Star Wars content. No one is gonna say, oh no, give us 3 more months.
Yeah.
Meredith is saying May the 4th, but that only, I don't think they'll have 2 overlapping Star Wars series. Now Meredith is also saying, Bad Batch was May the 4th, right? That series, Bad Batch, yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, so.
I don't know where to go from here.
Sometimes Disney Plus sometimes Disney Plus just does some strange things.
Yes. All right, well.
All right. Well, now, you know what? We can't go further until I know what time it is. So, Minnie?
Oh.
Minnie? What do you mean, oh, Minnie? You know I was going to ask you this. Minnie, every week I ask you the same questions,
We're
okay?
not here yet? That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, don't we usually do this in the first 5 minutes? Okay.
Okay, Minnie. Pretend you didn't hear my question earlier. Minnie, what time is it?
It's 2:51.
Minnie, what time did we start recording of this episode?
16 minutes ago. Let's get into the Book of Boba Fett already.
All right. Thank you, Minnie. Take you and your attitude and get out, all right? All right. Now, with so much to talk about, let's jump right into the Book of Boba Fett because we're made to by Minnie Mouse and the Rancor-tastic finale.
And yes, there will be spoilers. So, for shoutouts this week, we will also read your comments left in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. So make sure you comment there.
One more time, please.
Okay. And yes, there will be spoilers. Also, on this week's episode, for shoutouts, we are going to read your comments on the episode left in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group.
There you have it.
Was that better?
Much better.
What did you guys think? Was that better? Take two.
All right, do you want to start off?
Sure.
All right, now let's begin our Boba Fett discussion with our thoughts on the series as a whole. And you people in the Sky Chat, you Skywalkers, throw out your comments as well.
Yes.
But Sarah, what did you think of the series as a whole?
Okay, well, for what it was marketed as, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, we got a very unexpected journey that I was happy to take. I was happy to ride along. And some of it was just some of the most amazing and beautiful Star Wars imagery and nostalgia that we had seen up until this point. I mean, we got straight out of Empire Strikes Back vibes with Chapter 6. We got an amazing Boba Fett, like, rebirth and storyline with the Tusken Raiders. I mean, that was just beautiful. And then on the other side of the coin, we got a bit of sloppiness and stuff that didn't really make sense. Specifically, honestly, Chapter 7 really tried to, like, tie up a bunch of things that happened in chapters 1 through 4, but 5 and 6 were, like, a little bit of a, I don't know, it took us a departure, yes.
A spin-off within the series?
Yes, and so, like, when you got back to 7, everything just didn't really jive.
So what became the spin-off? Boba Fett or The Mandalorian at this point?
Boba Fett, yeah. So, on the whole, I really enjoyed the heck out of watching it. I mean, there were moments, I had tears in my eyes, and it was just beautiful. And so, overall, I have to, I'm going to focus on those beautiful moments that it added to the saga. I just wish the Boba Fett and Fennec storylines had been a bit stronger in the whole series, because you have this running thread of the Mandalorian, which is just fantastic, and like, if it wasn't for being sandwiched into this Book of Boba Fett, the whole Star Wars fan community would have been just like going crazy, like, positive about these episodes. But because they were sandwiched in the Book of Boba Fett, that title, there was this underlying thread of negativity.
Well, I think fans were split even before that.
Well, that's very true.
They're fans. That goes without saying.
Yes. Okay, so what about you?
Now, when Boba Fett was announced as a film in 2014, I was very excited to see what direction they were going to go with the lone gunslinger. I think I tried to develop him from there. They have so much room to play with because he really hadn't been developed. But this series took the character in a whole different direction, a direction I never even expected. It developed him. It gave him another level, which to become a crime lord instead of just staying as a bounty hunter, and a crime lord with a twist because he respects his constituents, let's say. Yeah. He wants to run Mos Espa, and he wants to do it with respect. He doesn't want to do it with fear. He wants people to, when they see him coming, go, "Hey, what's up?" instead of cowering in fear. I had a great time with this series. I know people can punch holes in it, but I didn't care. I wanted to have fun, and guess what? I had fun.
Yeah.
I was so anxious for the next episode because why? I was having fun with this series, and you could tell that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they too were having fun. They were having fun, and they were waving at the fans with all the Easter eggs, saying, "Hey guys, we got you. We saw what a great time you had while seeing the Easter eggs in The Mandalorian." And I don't think they did it just for us. They did it for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were doing this, I would have put those same kind of things in there for me, and hopefully the fans would have loved them too, and we did.
Yes.
Now I just hope fans can get more out of Solo, a Star Wars story,
Oh.
or vice versa, because now they see who the Pikes are and a
Ooh.
bigger grand scheme of them. They're not,
that's fun.
they're not just on in the spice mines of Kessel, not just on Kessel mining spice, but they are a legit syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
I know we saw a lot of that in the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars, but now we get to see them even going beyond that. And I love these characters, and I love the fact that they are a new big threat to the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Then they just blew it out of the water with Cad Bane. When we saw that shot of him walking toward the camera,
Yeah.
and when we made out his hat, like, oh, stop it, I can't take anymore.
Richard, you and I gasped at the same moment when we recognized him.
Oh yeah,
That was
very much
amazing.
so. Now, Jeremy Stevenson in the Sky Chat says, watching Boba and Din fly about in the fight scene, it felt like it was written or derived from two kids playing with their action figures in their backyard, and that's a good thing. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he also says, Jeremy says, as a whole, I thought the series was well done. It jumped around a bit and didn't flow as well as it could have, but still a very good series. That's a good sum up. And actually, I have a question I want to throw out there. What do you think the theme of this series was?
Respect,
Okay.
community,
Okay.
family.
Yeah. I was going to say found family.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did you have that with Boba and Fennec, when they decided to become a team and team up as bounty hunters, like for bounty hunters becoming a team that were going to save each other's lives if need be, that's a found family. You have Boba finding the Tusken Raiders and becoming inducted into their society, and then you even have the Mandalorian returning to his original family. And there was some really interesting stuff with the armorer there, and now he's got to go make amends for taking off his helmet, right? But he still feels himself a part of that society, but he's probably questioning it. But then also Grogu had to choose, and he chose the family of Mandalorian. So,
And this all really ties back to Ezra Bridger, who had his found family with the Spectres.
yeah, that whole series. So yeah, overall, I feel like if they had put one more episode in between chapters 6 and 7 that dealt with more of the family and the interlacing of Boba and Fennec and their team, I felt like the finale could have gone better. Because in the finale, it felt like a lot of those moments where these people were saving each other's lives and stuff, it didn't have as much emotional impact to them.
Or let's talk about the finale in just a few seconds.
Okay.
Because we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I really want to talk about the series as a whole.
Okay,
That's
okay.
a whole different discussion. Then we can come back to your discussion on the finale.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right, yes.
All right, now when we saw the let's say teaser trailer for the Book of Boba Fett at the end of The Mandalorian season 2, we knew that this series was coming. What were you hoping for in this series? This could have gone any direction.
Yeah. So, I mean, anything with Fennec, I just wanted to see. I remember, Boba Fett is cool, not my favorite character, so I was on the Fennec Shand train. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I wanted to see Return of the Jedi Easter eggs.
Ooh.
Because we opened up where? In Jabba's palace with Bib Fortuna. And this was only 5 years after Return of the Jedi, or 5 years plus. So I knew we would see Gamorrean guards. I knew we would see Nikto. I knew we would see Weequay, and how many other denizens of Jabba's palace would we see? And I really couldn't wait to see all of that. Plus, I knew everyone knew that we would see the Sarlacc pit scene.
Yeah.
The scene that's been depicted in Marvel comics, but never in live action or really canon up until now. And how does he get out of there? And we got that, and we got to see the greatest musician of all time, Max Rebo.
Yes.
And I just wanted a good story, and you know what? Check.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right, now with that,
Yeah.
do you like the direction they took with the revamping Boba Fett as a character?
So yeah, I really love that they gave him this whole Tusken Raider scene, like these moments where he's inducted into their society. I think they took him to the next level with that, and how they gave him a tribe of his own, and then shaped him into wanting a tribe of his own. So I think that was really cool, and as I really want to watch the series over again, like all together, because I feel like maybe then the ties of Mando and Grogu and how they have a clan of two and found their family will make more sense and tie together when we watch them like all at once in a day. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the direction of the new Boba Fett. Him as a bounty hunter, we've been there. He's been there. I want to see him progress and move on, and they did. And not only that, they give him a Don Corleone persona. I really wish there'd been some like Godfather music, some what do you call it? Like callbacks to the.
Oh, well, Easter eggs and music.
Yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear a little bit of that. That's what I thought the series was going to be all about. His Godfather-like stance. It would have been his position as a crime lord.
Okay.
Now the character, of course, had to grow. It had to progress from what we had seen in the past, which wasn't all that much. But once again, he'd done the bounty hunting thing. Let's see him move on from that. I don't know how long he spent in the Sarlacc pit, but he had some time to think.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to go home and rethink his life.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't stick to him as a bounty hunter. I think that would have been, whereas I think a lot of people would have liked to see that. He did have growth, and that's really great. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's really cool to see him in this new role.
And then he learned from the Tusken Raiders, from his found family. He learned about community and respect, and that's what built on to his being a crime lord. I don't think if he hadn't been found by the Tuskens or were adopted into their family, then that we wouldn't have gotten that particular Boba Fett.
Right. No.
As a crime lord.
Exactly. Now, Richard, you were talking about Easter eggs.
Oh.
So please, what are some of your favorites? And I know there's tons.
There's so many of them.
But let's bring up just a few that you were like,
all right,
blew your mind.
This is my top 115.
Okay. Settle in.
I'm going to go with the Ralph McQuarrie concept art reference.
Oh.
And that was when Boba Fett had to go make his gaffy stick, and he had to go make it at this little kiosk, a gaffy stick making kiosk in the middle of the desert. That was referenced from the Ralph McQuarrie paintings, where you had this metal shell just dug into the sand, and that's where they had their shop. Oh, I love that so much. Oh my goodness. I love the other Ralph McQuarrie reference when the mods were racing through the streets of Mos Espa, and they smashed through the Ralph McQuarrie Jabba the Hutt painting.
That was so funny.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, that was hilarious beyond belief. Another one of those times we had to stop and just laugh for about 30 minutes, and we had lunch, then came back to the show.
I mean, do people count as Easter eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because
if they had too big of a role, that's more of a cameo or a supporting role.
Okay.
So. Okay, so you name some of yours, then I'll go back to my list.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. So, I mean, just the entrance of some of the Easter egg characters. Specifically, I'm referring to Cad Bane. What an amazing like, you see a mirage, and then you see him a little closer, and if you're in the know with Clone Wars and stuff, you knew in that second shot that was Cad Bane. Also, the reveal of Mando, behind that screen of
it was a butcher shop.
The butcher shop screen. Like, that was cool. You have Luke and Grogu on a hill far away. You have Ahsoka. I forget what her reveal was, but just the way and the care with which they revealed these characters. Specifically, I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard and Dave Filoni, the episodes that they directed, they just knocked it out of the park with just the artistry and the care with which they directed these episodes. I mean, it was felt all the way through to the viewer on the, as we're viewing it.
All right, how about like a smaller Easter egg? Those
Okay.
are like the big Easter egg cameos.
Okay.
But I see where you were going. But like a little thing that they like the little seeker ball that Grogu was.
Well, that's what I was gonna mention.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I was gonna mention Mando's the little silver ball.
No, not the knob on the shaft from the Razor Crest, but when Luke was teaching Grogu, Grogu had sliced that little seeker ball that Luke was training with on the Millennium Falcon, and also what Rey had destroyed when she was learning the Jedi arts.
The remote.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, no, I really liked the silver ball that Mando brought out. He still had it in his belt, and he had it right there ready for Grogu, and well, and they even use it at the very end. The final scene of Book of Boba Fett is Mando and Grogu. I guess, what does that say about the series? But like, that was so adorable. Grogu's like knocking on the glass. Beep 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 beep. No. Beep 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 beep. No.
And the Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah. Okay. And it goes really fast.
Goes, wow! Hits light speed. It's like when you're a kid and you're going through a tunnel and you want your mom and dad to beep the horn so it echoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That everyone was waiting for that one shot too of seeing Grogu and that little domed bubble behind Mandalorian.
Well, what's so cool about that little silver ball is that is the turning point for Mando in Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
He sees that ball and he realizes, no, I made a mistake. I need to go back and get Baby Yoda at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to be a part of my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other Easter eggs. We had a lot of droid Easter eggs. They brought back R5-D4 in Peli Motto's hangar. He came back in The Mandalorian. Now he's hanging out at Peli Motto's shop. Love that. The 8D8 droid, the torture droid in Jabba's palace, voiced by Matt Berry. The vampire from What We Do in the Shadows.
Right?
There was the Lop series bunny droid.
Yeah, that was so random.
Going through all these Clone Wars episodes right now, I'm seeing that little bunny everywhere now.
Oh,
He's
goodness.
just everywhere.
Wow.
And probably the most obscure Easter egg when they were putting together the Naboo Starfighter, and the Mandalorian grabs that shaft, and that is the same shaft we saw in the trash compactor in Star Wars when Han is trying to brace the walls. He's using that.
That's so cool. Awesome.
That's a deep cut. All right, now with that, let's go on to the finale, Chapter 7, In the Name of Honor. Hold on, Wayne Kwong says here in the Sky Chat, Max Rebo lives. Yeah, he does. It'd be funny to have him as like Kenny from South Park joke.
Oh.
Whenever he's like somewhere that blows up, but he's like right outside,
Yeah.
in the middle of a smoke break.
In a break, yeah, something.
Whenever someone's gonna blow up and he's there, that's the one time he like steps out.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I gotta go take a hologram call. I'll be right back.
That would be funny.
I love running jokes. All right, so let's pick up from where you had left off earlier.
Okay.
With the finale.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to get into Chapter 7, the finale. So, Skywalkers, if you have some comments, please let us know. So, do you have like an overall review?
Yeah.
Or...
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I love this episode.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. My biggest nitpick, it's a little more than a nitpick. Dave Filoni should have directed this episode. Drop the mic. This really should have been his or Jon Favreau. Robert Rodriguez, he did a good job with Chapter 1,
Yes.
Stranger in a Strange Land, and Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. But this just felt a little low budget in places with his directing and editing choices. So that really took me out of it many, many times. For instance, in the big shootout, it felt like we were seeing the same pikes being shot over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, okay, there's about 10 pikes. You just killed 9, and
Now there's
more come. But like, wait, where the dead pikes? They were just, the streets were littered by pikes. And now there's not any anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of those low budget things. You kill someone, guess what? They're in the next shot. It's a whole different character. And the staging of the characters, this really always bothers me.
Ooh, okay.
When like 2 characters are whispering, and the other character they want to they're telling the secret, and they're telling a secret from the other character. You know.
Yes.
You're whispering. That person is standing 3 feet from you.
Which scene are you referring to specifically?
Oh, for the whispering thing, I'm just trying to give a big general
Yeah.
overview.
Yes.
Okay, of staging.
Got it.
Like you see it in a lot of sitcoms. Hey, step over here, take 2 steps. Let me tell you what I think about this other person who's 19 inches away.
Right.
Now, in this, like, let me just give you an example. When all of our heroes, the Mods and Black Chrysanthemum, they're behind the wall, okay? And the pikes are across the alley shooting. They're shooting back and forth. Well, Robert Rodriguez shot it in a way that it went through the door, so you see the heroes on one side and the pikes in the background. But the way the characters were set up, it's like, well, the pikes have this clear shot at these characters,
and they're not taking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Robert Rodriguez just wanted to have this nice shot where you can see the characters in the foreground and the pikes in the background. But he's right there. There are like 4 characters out in the open. How are you not shooting at them?
Right.
That makes sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And too many times when a pike would stand on a tall tower and start to take shots, like, dude, you're out there in the open. When you see someone standing up on a big platform, you know that they're getting ready for a stunt.
Oh, yeah.
So the staging that kind of staging just really took me right out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I being nitpicky here?
No, you're not at all, because I felt, honestly, when I mentioned sloppy, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
This particular episode felt very sloppy.
And then,
go ahead.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Yes.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah. Yes.
How many times did he get shot? And then the next.
And eaten.
Yeah, or bitten. And the next scene, he's up and running around again. He gets shot in the leg, and he's limping. But you cut to 2 shots later, and he's doing marathons. So it just was never consistent, and that's what I mean by the editing choices.
Right.
Were they shot it in one way, then they edited it a whole different way, so there was no continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the very end, when you see the pikes and the mayor and the mayor's office, all of a sudden Fennec Shand is there.
Yes.
How?
How did ceiling?
No one would have seen. The room was filled with people.
But she was like on the ceiling somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, and no one would have seen her move.
She's like Batman.
You know, we have a pretty big living room. When our bunny moves across the area, a little tiny bunny, we know it. So it's that kind of thing when characters just appear out of nowhere. That kind of staging just really bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I hear you. And
okay.
Go ahead.
We have someone here from London.
Hi,
Christina Riley from London. Hey.
Yay. But that's Star Wars. No one is on target. That's funny. Yeah, Christina, let us know what you thought of Chapter 7. Please write in the comments. We'll let you know. Jeremy says that he would have sworn Black Chrysanthemum's foot or ankle was broken, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That just really bothered me.
Well, okay, so right off the top, you had mentioned that this episode would have been better had it been directed by Dave Filoni. And it's funny that you say that, because my first thoughts after watching Chapter 7 was that it was very jarring going from this masterful, slow and beautiful direction of Dave Filoni, and the previous episode before that with Bryce Dallas Howard, which, I mean, dealt with little kids and like there's just so many. It just had a totally different tone, and then you go from these beautiful episodes, even though they didn't deal with Boba Fett, they were still a beautiful journey, and then you go into this intense war-torn chapter 7 with this kind of crazy editing and weird editing choices sometimes, and it just was like, and for me, this whole episode, I wasn't very emotionally invested because of that. Like, I couldn't get emotionally invested because it just felt so jarring.
I think they could have cut 10 minutes out of this.
Either that, or I feel like they needed one more episode to build up these relationships between Boba and the mods, Boba and the Rancor. We needed one more scene there, so it made sense that he brought the Rancor back, right? And then also just, Boba and Fennec, like maybe, and then Fennec, and also the relationships, like in this episode, they tried to have the biker gang, Drash, she's the woman in the biker gang. They tried to have her and the other woman from Mos Pelgo, which is now Freetown. They tried to have them have like some scenes together, this little relationship that felt very forced. Had they added another episode in where they had one more little small climax building to this big climax where they all like built up their relationships, I think that could have helped this series.
It should have been like Mandalorian season 1, where the big shootout attack was in 2 episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, so a lot of the directing, the what was edited was not how it was scripted. You can very much tell.
Interesting. Christina Riley is saying, Chapter 7, it was time we had a bigger cast, more action, great use of the Rancor.
Oh, you know what? I wouldn't argue any of those points.
Yeah.
Now you just needed someone like Dave Filoni to bring it all together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's go on with did he or didn't he?
Okay.
Cobb Vanth. We thought he was dead, but because in the beginning of the episode we were told that he was shot, and where is he now? He's not anywhere.
Right.
But he was shot in the shoulder, so So we know that he survives, which I'm very glad about.
Yes.
I liked his character so much more in Boba Fett than I did in The Mandalorian. I think because of what you said last Skywalking episode, because the first time we saw him, he was wearing Boba Fett's armor, and it looked like he was an adult wearing a kid's costume. But we already talked about Max Rebo. Max Rebo, he's alive.
Yes.
Cad Bane, dead or alive? Go.
Dude, he's dead. He dead, and I feel like it's because, and I know sometimes you get surprises in like Marvel and Star Wars, and characters you think are dead come back. Maul, Darth Maul, but here I feel like he's dead because, for one thing, there's 2 points. For one thing, Boba Fett used his gaffy stick to best him, and that in itself ties together the beginning of this series and Boba Fett's journey to the end of this series. It was only because Boba Fett had transcended beyond being a bounty hunter by learning and being inducted into the Tusken Raider Society and learning to use that gaffy stick that he was able to defeat Cad Bane with the gaffy stick, and Cad Bane is dead. Because if you think about it, if Cad Bane wasn't dead and we only had them besting the Pikes, the nameless Pikes, we don't really know them that well. There's not a single character that really represents the Pikes.
Well, Quay from Solo, played by Details.
Right, but he's not in this.
No. Yeah, okay.
There's not really one character that represents the Pikes, a big bad, in this series. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So,
I just want to give Details a shout out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Cad Bane is the big bad that died, and therefore you feel like Mando won.
Right. You know what? You're absolutely right there. They did have one Pike leader, but we never really got a chance to know him.
Yeah.
And you're also right about the gaffy stick. That's very symbolic.
Yes.
To the whole series in the Boba Fett, that he kills Cad Bane with the gaffy stick. Now, Christina Riley says in the Sky Chat, he'll come back younger in his own series.
Well, that could certainly
Well,
happen.
if you want to see him younger, you have to go watch the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Now, yeah, so they can't keep bringing back characters after they've died, or death will not mean anything. You know, well, you'll get a pass with Darth Maul, because we lost him way too early.
Yes.
Bring him back. Stop there. You bring back characters as Force Ghosts, you get a pass there, but stop. Boba Fett really comes back after we thought he died.
Oh, yeah,
George Lucas said he's gone. He's dead. No, he's dead.
Fennec also felt like she died, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wasn't dead.
Okay, stop. Stop. Because once again, death will not mean anything, and when a character dies, okay, I'm not gonna feel too bad because they're gonna come back in the next series.
Yeah. Now, I do have a question about this scene where Boba Fett kills Cad Bane. You got a really interesting editing choice here, and I want to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
So, during this, Boba kills Bane. I'm going to describe it for the Skywalkers. And then you get these weird,
Dissolves.
4, 5, or 6 dissolves of different angles of Boba and Bane. What does this meant to depict or convey?
Once again, it's a very low budget technique.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it conveying?
It's just seeing different. Your dissolve is a very impactful optical, meaning it's not a cut where you cut right to the next scene.
Right.
It's a dissolve where you're still in the last shot but going to the next one, and it's push and pull and gives you a moment to digest the last scene before going into the next scene. And this right here dissolving from one from one shot of the dead Cad Bane to the other, it's just a low budget technique. It's just say, hey guys, if you didn't notice, Cad Bane is dead.
This is a big moment.
And we want to really drag it out.
Okay.
And I think that in the editorial, it's like, well, he's dead. How much coverage did you get on him? Well, not a whole lot. So let's just repeat the same shots, but we'll dissolve from one to the other and really drag it out.
Yikes. Okay, because to me, dissolve means passage of time.
That's one meaning of it.
So when it originally started these dissolves, I'm like, wait, so is he just standing there a long time looking at Cad Bane? I was just confused.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, but it has several meanings. And Robert Rodriguez, coming from a very low budget filmmaking history,
right?
This is in his DNA, but and he's done a great job with those low budget films.
Oh yeah.
But,
well, and he was the great choice for the episode Chapter 1 and 3. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 and 3.
Yeah.
But I think they were Filoni and Favreau was standing over his shoulder.
Okay.
Because like I said in the last Skywalking episode, he was fired from Zorro.
Oh, interesting.
Spielberg said, yeah, you're not ready yet.
Okay. Oh.
And him being the showrunner of this, he did a good job from the film series From Dusk Till Dawn, The Vampire. Either the blood and guts and very high intensity action in those films,
right.
But there was just death. Let's kill vampires. Let's kill people.
Right.
And that's his genre.
And that's what this Chapter 7 felt like a little bit.
Yeah.
Killing the Pikes. At the end, even Fennec Shand killing all those the higher ups in that room, and hanging the mayor. Holy cow! That was like another level up. I'm like, oh dude, that doesn't feel very Star Wars. That feels very Robert Rodriguez. Yeah. So that was like, and then knifing that guy in the back. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what? Robert Rodriguez needs his own. If you're gonna bring him into Star Wars, he needs his own series that he can play with his own conventions and stick with his own conventions. And something like this, I didn't see the connection. Even when they said, hey, he's gonna be doing Boba Fett, he's gonna be an executive producer.
Right.
All right. Okay. Let's see what happens here. And I don't want to keep going down this road, but his portrayal of the Ithorian mayor, I didn't care for that.
Okay.
You gotta be a specific kind of mime artist to really pull that off without doing too much overacting.
Okay.
But Robert Rodriguez, if you're listening, loves the Spy Kid genre, love Dusk Till Dawn. El Mariachi, very jealous of that film when it first came out because he made it for $7,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's a pioneer, but he's a pioneer in his own realm.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
You had a lot to get off your chest
I
there.
did, and
That's okay. You know what? Hey, we can love a thing and still nitpick. It's all good.
We stayed up because last night we wanted to see when the show was released at midnight.
Yep.
Because it's like Christmas Eve. How do you sleep?
Uh-huh.
And these little moments kind of pulled me out of the episode. I didn't want to be pulled out of the episode.
No. No.
All right. How about this moment?
Okay.
Did it pull you out or did it push you back in? Did Grogu imprint on the Rancor? This is a big moment here. Let's pick on either way. What do you think?
This is a big moment and very paralleling chapter 2 of The Mandalorian season 1, where it's not the Razor Crest. What is the beast that is on Mando's armor now?
On the Mudhorn.
The Mudhorn. It's the Mudhorn scene all over again, only with a Rancor and Yoda, or not Baby Yoda, and Grogu, instead of killing it, decides to put it to sleep, because now Grogu has learned a bit more about the Force.
But
I also feel like Grogu did not imprint with the Rancor. I just felt like he reached out and connected to the animal through the Force, like Ezra has done with animals. The Purgles you mentioned at the top. So yeah, he just used the Force to calm and put him to sleep.
Okay, now go to the next step.
And then Grogu decided that he had used a lot of energy and needed a nap too.
Okay, but the fact that he snuggled up right with the Rancor, he could have taken a nap anywhere else.
Yeah.
But he snuggled up right with the Rancor. I think he imprinted on the Rancor. He loves this Rancor now.
Oh.
So he put him to sleep. He had a Force connection there. But that doesn't mean you're gonna imprint on him. But the fact that they made the choice of having him walk over and snuggle like a little puppy or kitty would snuggle up against you when they've imprinted on you. And you know when a puppy or kitty just loves you.
Yes.
Because they'll snuggle up with you just like that because they feel safe. And Grogu snuggled up right at his jowls, right where this creature's mouth was. Mm-hmm. And he just snuggled up and was very comfortable. And went TP time.
I think you have a valid story point there. However, I think the director and everyone else and Star Wars people were just thinking about the Funko Pop that would portray.
Oh, is this going to be a new team up now?
I don't know, but I think that moment by him snuggling right next to the Rancor was driven by merchandise.
Oh, you're going to see a lot of toys on this.
Yeah.
A lot of toys. You're going to see a lot of comic books. You're going to see a lot of artwork of little Grogu on a big giant Rancor.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'm for it.
Okay.
Yep.
I love
Let's do it.
Well, with the Rancor, I did not see him coming.
No.
When we saw his scales walking like Godzilla.
You didn't know that was the Rancor?
No, I'm so embarrassed. I'm
Oh!
very embarrassed.
You should be.
Even when his hand came up over the building, I thought it was gonna be a crate dragon.
I was so surprised when the Rancor was revealed and you were like, what? I was like, dude.
I did not see that. Boy, I'm embarrassed. But so when you see the Rancor just rampaging and pummeling the city, like we said earlier in the show, you just had to think about the Connect Star Wars game.
Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I was like, yeah, Rancor. Although I thought it was kind of funny that that Boba Fett used the Rancor to rampage around the city when the scene before he had just said, "Oh, we don't want to tear up the city." That was a little sloppy.
Things change.
Yeah.
Things
I was
change.
like, okay. And so you bring a Rancor to the city? You know what's going to happen, buddy.
Maybe he told the Rancor, okay, don't go pummeling, okay? Now, you played Connect Star Wars. Let's not do that.
Oh, yeah.
I defy anyone to say that they didn't have a blast just watching the Rancor just beat its way through the city and beat up droids and eat that pike.
Yeah, that was fun. Now, I did have a blast, except when people are shooting at the Rancor, they're using their fire, they're hurting it. I hate when animals are hurt. You do. Mistreated. I did not like that. So, yeah, you saw me cringe every time that happened.
When the droids and those plasma droid Deca
Yes.
bubbles,
Oh,
the
yeah.
plasma bubbles.
Scary, stop. No.
Yeah,
Don't do
but
that.
loved seeing him the Rancor just bust those open and
Thank
just
you.
tear those things apart.
Yeah. Who cares
And-
about the droid decas?
No, but another great Phantom Menace reference too.
Mhm. Yeah. Who they're like Scorpia decas or something instead of
Yeah,
droid deca. I don't know the exact term,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm sure StarWars.com will tell us.
yeah. And when the Rancor ate that pike,
Yeah. Oh, and it was just like the
Gamorrean
the
guard.
Gamorrean guard. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
kinda
3
want-
bites.
Wanted to see. Yeah, don't.
Yep.
Wanted to see him just have the. I wanted to see the hand come out of the mouth.
Ew.
The way the Gamorrean guard was.
Yeah.
That would have been another funny Easter egg.
Gross.
Now, did the show for you and everyone else in the Sky Chat,
Oh.
did the show have a satisfying ending? The whole series did have a satisfying ending.
Okay, to answer that, I feel like we need to sit down and watch chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. And leave out chapters 5 and 6 because I feel like the trajectory and the whole story arc happens in those episodes for Boba Fett and Fennec and those characters. And to really answer that question, we need to watch it that way. Because as it feels right now, it didn't exactly have a satisfying ending for them, simply because we were so disconnected from their storyline at this point, 2-3 weeks after we had been in their storyline.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it was a beautiful journey that those episodes took us on, especially you got to see Luke, oh my god, and Ahsoka and Bamboo and like all this amazing things. Star Wars imagery, it just, within the bounds of what this show was touted as, it just doesn't, it didn't flow.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what the decisioning process was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
When doing this.
Plus, I think people who don't care about Boba Fett didn't watch this series and are going to tune in for Mandalorian Season 3 because, like, I'm thinking Kelly Turkel. I don't think she watched any of Boba Fett.
Mhm.
But when she tunes into Mandalorian Season 3 and all of a sudden Grogu's going to be with Mando again after they had split up at the end, like, she's going to be like, well, what happened?
Mhm.
So...
Yeah.
And then she's going to be told, oh, you got to watch Book of Boba Fett, at least the chapters 5 and 6, right? So
Right.
I feel that's a little odd to do that.
Yeah. And once again, I want to know why they decided to start Mandalorian Season 3 in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Again, it was awesome, but
Yeah.
didn't fit.
Yeah. Well, except for the directing.
Yes.
I had fun with this series and this episode. Once again, seeing the rampaging Rancor. Oh, so much fun. But above all, I'm very happy that they didn't repeat the Mandalorian convention, where they have a surprise cameo to save the day.
Yes.
And lots of fans were thinking, oh, or not just thinking, they heard rumors, we're going to see a cameo by Han Solo. They're going to DH Harrison Ford. He was in London. He was in the studio. They're going to DH him. No, he's in London because of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I didn't think for a brief millisecond that he would ever make a cameo. And because if they did that, then we would know what's going to happen with every single series. At the end of Kenobi, well, you got to have Leia make a cameo.
Oh.
To have that Luke, Han, Leia punch.
Yeah.
And it would have been predictable, and it's not needed. Plus, it would have been like, hey, why are you repeating Mandalorian Season 2? That's one of those very cheap sequel moves when, okay, the first one did a lot of business at the box office. Let's make a sequel and just redo the first film.
Right.
And they're way above that.
They are, and I mean, they created characters that are compelling on their own. They don't need those ties.
No, we don't need to
that
repeat the same
trope.
Yes, I know that whole ring circle thing. What do you call it? The ring cycle.
Yeah.
The repeating of the same themes.
Yeah, that's.
Well, this is not. That's what Star Wars is all about. But this is not repeating the same theme. It's copying the same theme.
No. Right. Huh.
All right. Now, one last question.
Okay.
I think we kind of already went over this. did we need the Mandalorian, Luke, Grogu, Ahsoka in this series? I think we pretty much covered that.
Yeah.
Did it feel like jumping the shark?
Oh, I don't think it. Not necessarily, because this hasn't been a series on the air a long time.
Right.
Which is what jumping the shark would be. You know, you keep people interested by doing things.
Well, this is when a series runs out of ideas.
Right.
And they don't know what to do. So let's bring in a big star cameo, like what they did with Friends in the beginning. We have all these cameos by Robin Williams and Billy Crystal, or pulling a big stunt like jumping the shark. We were so out of ideas. Let's do something ridiculous by jumping a shark. All right, Fonzie, on your skis. Well, if this had been like season 8, it's like, well, yeah, this would have been jumping the shark. You're all out of ideas. What do you do? So this is what makes it so boggling. Why? Why did you include the Jedi in this?
Right. Just because it's Star Wars, so you got to stick some Jedi somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We did answer this question.
Yeah.
So,
I want an answer.
I know. So I think homework for next week is we should watch chapters 1 through 4 and 7, and let's see how that plays out in our heads. And yeah, let's do that. And then you have chapters 5 and 6 as their own special movie, really, miniseries. Yeah. Let's do that and see how we feel.
Remember when Rebels had the little interstitial shorts before the series began? This is like the little interstitial shows before Mandalorian season 3.
Indeed.
Just want to tie everything back to Rebels.
Let's add that to shoutouts.
Okay.
Right? All right, Skywalkers. Well, we asked you. Wait, did we have a satisfying finale to that? To shoutouts?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me do it. All right, Skywalker, so we asked you what you thought of the Book of Boba Fett in our Facebook group. So we're going to read some of your comments. We're also going to read a few of your comments here in the Sky Chat as we are live. So I'm going to read this by Gilberto Picasso.
Hey, Gilberto.
He says, wasn't pleased with how the Rancor failed at eating Din Djarin. We've seen how they eat. With Mando, he's just like nibbling at the helmet. I mean, we get it. Beskar is hard.
So now we know something else about Beskar. You can't chew it.
No.
You can't bite into it.
Rancor teeth don't work.
No. All right. Charles O'Halloran says in the Facebook group, the episode was totally wizard. Now this is Star Wars.
Nice.
Once again, I want to see more and more Phantom Menace references.
Yeah, I know. All the prequel references in this were great. All right, Jeremy Stevenson writes, I don't want to say too much yet, but when Fennec Shand had her big moments, both times I thought, it's the cavalry! Yay! And he's referencing her in the Marvel series. Yeah, that's awesome. And then Jeremy says, also, would R2 really just leave Grogu in Peli's care? At one point, he wouldn't even show Luke the message for Obi-Wan because it wasn't for him. I really don't see R2 going off and leaving Grogu with just anyone. He would have searched out Din himself. That is interesting. That's an interesting point to bring up, Jeremy, because he doesn't know Peli's relationship with Grogu.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Mandalorian had given him the backstory and said, she can be trusted.
Perhaps.
Because how else would Grogu have gotten there?
Yeah, that...
Oh, new play set. Grogu in an X-Wing. Grogu, R2 in an X-Wing.
Oh, yeah.
How cute was that?
That... You like freaked out. You were like, oh! Yeah. When she looks down in the cockpit and there's little Grogu in his little seat.
Yeah, for a couple of moments there, I wanted to see Luke in the cockpit holding Grogu, because Luke back on Tatooine would have been awesome, but you would have been repeating Mandalorian Season 2, where you have Luke come at the very end to save the day.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I know, he definitely did not.
But still,
that.
I want to see Luke on Tatooine.
I know. That actually brings up another point, Jeremy, which I thought was another kind of sloppy thing, which is Peli takes Grogu in that little speeder, whatever bike thing, right?
Oh, the rickshaw.
The rickshaw, and she's going through the streets. Hey, Mando, look who And there's clearly a war going on. You can hear the shots from the next street, and she's like oblivious. That was
and she
very...
has this blanket over him.
Yeah.
I know you're shielding him from the sun.
Yeah, it was just kind of silly.
Yeah, we needed that fun reveal.
Yeah.
Where was Filoni or Jon Favreau during this day? They could have said, "Hey, yeah, let's not hide Grogu under all this big blanket."
I don't know.
But the rickshaw droids
Yeah, those
is
are
what
cute.
we saw from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Ah, my favorite.
I love those droids. That
Nice.
pulled Anakin and Padme to Watto's junk shop. Loved it. All right, Alan Sanborn says, I thought they really brought out all the different elements of the show very nicely for a satisfying conclusion. The show definitely feels now like it was always intended to be an offshoot chapter of the total Mandalorian story. I absolutely loved Amy Sedaris' reaction to the name Grogu. There's something very familiar about that response. When Grogu says his name to Peli,
Right.
and she goes,
Or Archie says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grogu,
That's a terrible name.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I think he said there's something very familiar about that response.
Yeah.
Because all of us had that response. So it's kind of a little dig at the fans.
Normally this would have been an inside joke,
Mm-hmm.
like when Jar Jar Binks returned in episode 2. Well, he was the bad guy. That was the inside joke to everyone not liking Jar Jar and Phantom Menace. So let's make him the bad guy to give the power for the Chancellor to stay in the role of the Chancellor.
Okay.
Who made that possible?
Emergency.
Jar Jar Binks.
Right.
So that was like an inside joke, but I never heard anyone say they didn't like the name Grogu.
Okay.
This was shot so long ago, maybe they'd heard one person say something. I don't know. But that was definitely an inside joke.
Okay.
All right, next is James Rowan.
Hold on. Shall I read it? James Rowan says, I certainly enjoyed the episode and the entire series. I was a bit disappointed, however, that the Tusken storyline was left so abruptly. I really thought that some Sand People were going to help defend Espa, since they never showed the female warrior's body. I get that subplot was designed to show how Fett grew, but for something so important in the beginning, it didn't have much of a payoff in the end. Yeah, James, that point is very valid. I feel like they did try to pay that off with the gaffy stick, by Boba Fett using that gaffy stick to defeat Cad Bane when he couldn't have defeated him otherwise. I feel like that was their way of tying in the Tusken Raider time into the series, but I do agree that it would have been cool to see some Tusken Raiders show up.
But they were more of a story point.
Yeah.
This is how Boba Fett grew as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had to leave that nest.
Right.
But yeah, maybe a couple of Tusken Raiders would have been really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking about it, dang it, dang it.
But overall, though, I feel like Tusken Raiders wouldn't really care so much that a town is being overrun, since they don't really live in the town.
But had Boba Fett put the word out, why didn't he put the word out?
Well, his particular Tusken Raider village was destroyed.
Right, but you'd think they would have relatives and ancestors.
Yeah.
Reach out to them, but that would have been really okay, now I want to see that.
Again, you need that second chapter in between to kind
Yeah.
of bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lori Lazat. She says, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Love seeing Boba ride the Rancor. Homage to King Kong. Oh, when the Rancor's up on the tower and he's waving his arm. So 1933 King Kong. It made me laugh, she says. I just needed a damsel. Not anymore. This is 2022. You don't have any more damsels. Was rooting for the mods to get killed off. Oh, I like the mods. She doesn't like them. Killing Cad Bane like that was a waste of his character. The series as a whole was meh, except for the last 2 chapters. Too much Sand People could have been edited down to 2 chapters.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, no, that's her thoughts.
That's her thought. That's her opinion.
Yeah, so
Okay.
interesting. Okay. So killing Cad Bane was a waste of his character. I do I mean, we felt very sad when Cad Bane was killed. But again,
Yeah.
I think we discussed it that he needed to be the figurehead that was
Right.
killed so that Boba would, have conquered something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but good points. All right, Amanda Bakken writes, "It was fine. I enjoyed it more than the earlier Rodriguez episodes. I liked the Rancor paying off, though it made me cringe every time he was shot." Yeah, Amanda works with animals, so yeah, it makes sense. "And as soon as Boba was thrown, I was like, oh no, now we've got to catch a loose rampaging Rancor. And I'm glad they didn't just have it run off home and we actually got to see that. And oh my god, Grogu napping with it. I wish they had actually held off and didn't do the showdown between Cad Bane and Cobb, and then just do the showdown with Bane and Boba with the shot-for-shot reaction of the original rough draft animatics from the Clone Wars. Just seemed like they overdid it with the showdowns." I am with you on that, Amanda. By the time they got to the second showdown in this episode of Cobb and Boba, it did, and they repeated like the same shots, and it was very much like the Western movie popping up into Star Wars again and again and again.
But Cobb and Boba in this episode.
Not in this episode, but in chapter 6, you had an amazing Cobb versus
Pikes.
No. I'm sorry. Bane. Cad Bane versus Cobb, right?
Well, first you had Cobb
in chapter
Vanth.
6.
In chapter 6, Cobb Vanth versus the Pikes in that very Western.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Cobb.
In the very end.
Yeah, I'm talking about the very end between Cad Bane and Cobb. I'm getting my C's confused, all right? So in chapter 6, they had that standoff. Then in chapter 7, Cad Bane and Boba had 2 standoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with you, Amanda.
Well, and Cad Bane just walked away from the first one, and Boba said, "Hey, I need some time to think about this."
Doesn't feel like a very
No. A
Bane
realistic
thing to
moment.
do?
Not just a Bane, but a realistic thing to do.
okay.
Someone like Bane wouldn't have just walked off.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Dan has a good thought here. "Enjoyed the last episode, but think the series as a whole could have been structured better." Yeah. I think a lot of us are feeling that way, especially after going back from that chapter 6 to chapter 7.
Right, but still leave in the flashbacks. I love the flashbacks and then how they were inserted into the episodes, and those help build the character of Boba Fett.
I agree totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to see more reactions, just go to our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, and people have been leaving comments all day long. Thank you. But if you have not seen the episode, don't go there.
Yeah. All right, Skywalkers. Well, that wraps up episode 356 of
Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank the cast and crew of The Book of Boba Fett for giving us another great Star Wars series. And we want to thank all of you Skywalkers for weighing in to all of our posts, our new videos where we went to Disneyland for Sweethearts Night, more videos coming this week, and for joining us today in the Sky Chat.
Also, we have our Book of Boba Fett Zoom discussions. The finale discussion will be tonight, Wednesday, February 9th. So if you're watching this live stream, you'll hear about it. Also, you can keep tabs on our events in our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group, because that's where we post all those Zoom discussions. All right, we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their support. Are you thinking of a trip to Disney parks? Perhaps you're thinking of a trip to the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Oh, that's opening up March 1st for some people.
Yes, it is. Yeah, March 1st is the first sailing.
Yes.
Yes.
For
yeah.
some people.
Exactly. So you can fill out a get a quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free, so check it out and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Or Minnie Mouse, what can you do? What do you whisper?
Skynet.
Thank you, Minnie Mouse. Now, do you love Skywalking Through Neverland?
Oh, yes.
Well, consider becoming a member of the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. Look for bonus content there where we post our discussions of the Disney Plus shows of the past, like The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki. We just finished up the book of Boba Fett.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
we're gonna keep. This is just gonna keep getting longer and longer and longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that bonus content begins at only $5 a month. So head to skywalkingforce.com. Have a look at the options available. See if one works for you. Your support just absolutely means the world, and we want to thank those of you who are part of the Skywalking Force, who have been part of the Skywalking Force. You guys are so appreciated.
And if times are tough, well, you know what? Another way to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Go on our YouTube channel and just like our videos, subscribe. All of that really helps out our visibility when it comes to people in the search engines.
That's very true.
So on the Facebook group and the page, please comment in our stuff, in our posts, and just comment and be supportive as much as you can, because that helps out a tremendous amount. On Instagram, we're starting to do a whole lot more on Instagram.
Yes, we are.
Please help us out there.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network.
Minnie? Oh, that's me. I'm not Minnie. Oh, I'm Mickey. I'm going to say Skynet.
Where you can also find other great shows like Talking Apes,
The Max Effects Podcast,
The Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis,
Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics,
and Today in Star Wars History.
You can find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. We are on YouTube, Skywalking Through Neverland. We're having lots of Disney videos. And also you can join our Facebook group. So just search Skywalking Through Neverland, request to join, and answer the questions that pop up. You can also email share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember
to snuggle with your Rancor.
Aww. And
all right.
woo.
I put on. You can put on. Stop it. Yeah. Hold on. There was a comment in here. Oh, Jeremy said, at this point, do Luke or Han know Boba is alive? I would say no. I want to see that scene where they see him alive.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, everyone.
Yay. We are going to have some coffee break time. That's what time it is here.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's hot.
I know it is. All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.